Hello everybody and welcome back. Thank you for joining me. I am Mr. JP and the game is Out of War. And this is the weekly walkabout, so yeah, let's do some walking. So this week I've been mainly working material and playing with machinery. I rebuilt my Grizzly so that the delivery system is a little bit less laggy. A friend and I, chatting in the Discord, noticed we were losing material here. So there is some kind of bug in the conveyor system, which we know, and that's being worked on in the next update. Yeah, thank you to all the viewers and subscribers out there. The number of subscribers is slowly creeping up, which is nice to see. All good. I haven't done anything on this side of the hill. I'm leaving that to a friend of mine. He's got a great big Grizzly conveyor that disappears off over that ridge in the far distance, and it cost him 12 mil just to build it, so yeah, impressive thing. I've been through my map. I've done a little bit of tidying up, removed some tiles and blocks here and there to try and improve performance, because, gotta be honest, this game's starting to piss me off with this FPS drop thing. Like, it's really getting on, really grinding my gears. In Red Dwarf terms, it's getting on my B cups. Basically, it doesn't matter what you do. You can start a new game with none of the processing machinery in and start bulldozing, and within 10 minutes the FPS drop rate starts to, just starts dropping off. Until eventually you suffer a sudden game crash, and if you haven't done a save, you lose all your work. And this is irrespective of machinery edits. You can do it in a new map. Down here I removed my floor, and look at the rich stuff hidden away under those piles I was playing with. So I think we'll be reprocessing these floors at some point. So currently the Grizzlies run down here to the Cone Crusher, which I'm only using one. I'm only using one Grizzly at the moment. And we've got these machines down here, which I'm planning on expanding. We'll see how that goes. But they run off underground into this. I'd already dug this channel out with a combination of Dreamite, Excavator and sheer sweat, blood and tears. So I just blew into the side of it to avoid where there's a lithium seam here that I have actually cut through with the explosives already by accident. And I've built a giant hopper. And it is a giant hopper. Excuse the coughing, everybody. A little bit croaky this morning. It's quite early on a Friday morning because pretty much this game's FPS drop has annoyed the heck out of me, and it has annoyed me for a specific reason, and quite simply, apparently it's not a priority. They're going to add stuff to the game first. What the hell, dude? What the hell? You've done some really smart development moves so far, and you're pulling this. Whoever advised you is wrong, unless, and I will qualify this, if you are planning to rework all of the way the soil works, because the problem is in the way the soil works, you don't even, you come into the game, you buy a bulldozer, you bulldoze, you crash the game. You have a problem with the game, and your game can't survive an hour-long soak test. Therefore, don't add to it. Jesus, you need to fix this base problem, because without a good foundation, your game is nothing if you can't play it for longer than 10 minutes without quitting, saving and restarting. Like, geez. I might not be much of an engineer, but I'm enough of an engineer to know that doesn't work. So yeah, to demonstrate this, we're going to finish the weekly walkabout with a quick bulldozing demonstration. Because this is it. This is everything that I've been working on, and I've just been doing this. Most of my gameplay has consisted of doing this. Driving the bulldozer around on this hill, slowly moving material down. We're slowly increasing the size of this area. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go over here and I'm just going to start bulldozing material down to feed that hopper. And I've been doing this for a little while, slowly cleaning it up, getting, shall we say, a view on the pay dirt that's under here. As you can see, it's quite pink here. I've done a bit of cleaning, got rid of the topsoil, and that's exactly what we're going to do over here. Same kind of deal. I think I'll start from a little higher. Yeah, see if we can get rid of some of this. If the bulldozer will actually climb the hill. Come on, there we go. It is a bit steeper than I thought on the look. Really should check that kind of thing. So yeah, I'm just going to go up and down on this line and slowly take out a run of this topsoil. We'll see how long it takes before the frame rate is such that it's jerky and unplayable, shall we? So we started at about 5 minutes, 12 seconds. And just see how many minutes of gameplay we get before this goes all Pete Tong. As I say, it just annoys me because this is such a good development game. We've waited a long time of it. Those of us that bought Bergsbrook were kind of disappointed that the multiplayer thing didn't happen, but I know it's not the developer's fault. So, and now I'm starting to get disappointed in this as well because you just can't play it for long enough to enjoy it. You just start getting into your bulldozing, getting into a rhythm. You've got to stop and save, or you risk crashes, and you do get random crashes from that game engine. I've been sat processing a load of material, just stood there, and it's crashed before now. I've seen these things reported in the Discord and everything, so I know they're not unknown. As I say, if you're going to rework the whole structure of the game, it makes sense to ignore it. But ignoring this FPS problem is going to probably cause you a headache later on. I'm going to be honest. Yeah, I thought I'd buried a lithium seam or something up here. I'm perhaps cutting a bit deep on the bulldozer with the blade there. Probably raise it a bit. Interesting. Not getting much material out of this. I have noticed that on steep slopes the bulldozers seem to have a little bit of fun digging in sometimes, so try wiggling the blade left and right, see if we get a better cut. And yeah, we are getting material now. Good. So, work my way down here. Give myself a smooth run to reverse up. God, raise the blade a little, JP. Come on. There we go. So yeah, the FPS crash appears related to how many of these little balls you generated and how often you generate them. You can relieve it a little by stopping bulldozing and then going back to it. But it's really annoying because whilst your processors are running, you'd quite like to be, you know, working on roads or doing something else, but you've dug too much, you're at the FPS limit. If you carry on, you'll crash the game, which is a ridiculous situation to be in. So we're doing alright at the moment, but I haven't been pushing it that hard. Now I'm going to start doing rapid pushes along here. We'll probably see more of a response from the FPS in a quicker time, because I'm just generating more balls per minute. That's basically what it comes down to, it's terrain edits per minute. I normally get between 10 and 15 minutes, so this kind of activity before I get scared. There we go, I just saw a frame rate drop. So within 5 minutes of starting to edit terrain, we're seeing a frame rate drop. It's unreal. I'm sorry, but this is poor programming, or the game engine is easy, JP. The game engine is Donald Ducked. Donald Ducked. I'm sorry for getting angry, and I'm sorry for my language. However, it annoys me. I've fallen in love with your game, it's got a major problem, and you're not fixing it. This is Railroads Online all over again. And if you've read my review for Railroads Online for Steam, you'll know what I'm on about. Or if you've seen my video about it. Because I actually do like the game, I love trains. And yet the developer is a German. Enough said. I'm British, so that would explain that comment probably for those of you who don't understand it. The Germans and the Brits have different viewpoints. But as I say, unless the game is being completely reworked and you know you're going to delete what is essentially the soil management system now and replace it, and that's going to delete the FPS issue. But I don't think it will. This FPS crash has been present during this game from the word go, and it's not a priority? Bullshit. Sorry, but bullshit. It's the problem in your game right now. This game is eminently playable and enjoyable. It would be a lot more enjoyable if it didn't crash every 15 to 20 minutes. And if this video suddenly ends, it's because the game has crashed suddenly with no warning from the FPS limit, which occasionally does happen. But I've got none of my machines switched on, nothing's running, no conveyors are carrying anything, they're just in the game, so they should be idle for programming purposes. Oh yeah, 46, yeah, we're starting to kick the FPS around. Now, I've suffered the FPS crash doing this in the when the frame rate's still up in the 30s sometime, when you just moved too much terrain. See, the game's starting to get jerky now. It's saying 51 FPS, 48, 50. It's bouncing around, but I don't know how reliable that FPS monitor is. I do know that the jerkiness that I'm seeing, you may not see it on the video because that capture rate, sometimes when I save game, it stops recording on the timer and then everything is recorded in sequence and the game looks smooth on the video, but I know it was laggy as hell. So yeah, if you're not catching the lag, it's because of that. Everything's sequential and the computer's seeing everything in order, and when it puts it together afterwards, it looks smooth. It's not. So yeah, whether loading hoppers or whether bulldozing in the open, I seem to get similar results on how long I can do this for. So we've done 6 minutes, 7 minutes now. Frame rate's still bouncing around in the 50s and the 40s, which is reasonable. Let's go back here a bit. I say it's reasonable, it's not acceptable at all for the graphics card I've got and its performance levels. It's not the fastest in the world, but it's got plenty of memory. It should be good for all these physics calculations, let's put it like that. So unless there's some kind of NVIDIA settings that you need to change for games like this, any advice, please leave it in the comments. Always good to hear. Join the Discord if you know about NVIDIA and graphics card and stuff, because add to the pool of knowledge, join the conversation. We all sort of play the game and talk about it at the same time. Have a bit of a laugh in the chat room sometimes, it's good fun. So yeah, I'm starting to see that. I think that was a 30 there, I didn't really see against the backdrop. I'm not really bulldozing for any purpose other than to flatten this off a bit. It's more for the FPS demonstration. There we go. So 49, 51, 50. Yeah, a bit of lag there. Let's try not crashing into everything. Ever. Okay, take this off and drop some more. Start being slightly more logical about it. Take this bit off. (32, 30, 33). So yeah, we're getting to the point where I've seen game crashes at this point with the FPS limit. Thank you for tuning in. If we have a game crash and this video suddenly ends, that'll save me doing an edit to put an end on the video. I don't know how people, like other creators, find time to game and edit like they do. I really don't. I'm a little bit of envy and a little bit in awe of that. Gonna have to admit. See, we're down into the 20s for frame rate now. It's getting really jerky. And we've bulldozed for 10 minutes. Alright, 10 minutes of gameplay before having to restart a game is not acceptable. It's just not. Sorry. But anyone who accepts this, you are promoting poor game design. End of. Like, that's that. And I may be being scathing, but I'm sorry, but sometimes when you're being, like, I know that you want to get this game going, and you know you want it to be successful, and you know you want to put more content in it, fine. But it's got to be stable. if you stick in a bucket wheel excavator that's scattering these balls all over the place as it's digging and making a mess, like they do, you're going to be crashing the game in 5 minutes, guys. Like maybe less. It's just insane. How can this not be the priority? I'm sorry, but like, as I say, unless you've got plans to edit the game that I don't know about, that haven't been on the Discord, or that I've missed, which is quite possible because I've been too busy, you know, gaming, saving, quitting, reloading, gaming, saving, quitting, reloading, which is the pace of the game currently. But yeah, you can't go adding stuff without fixing this problem, man. You really can't. Like, that's a message to the developer. We're tanking now at a steady 36 frames per second, and that was just reversing across the terrain. So we'll do another doze. You can see I'm starting to get into these long cuts, the kind of cuts that a dozer needs to make to be efficient. $25, $29. $31. I can tell from the noises that my computer's making, i.e. fans cutting in. I can hear the little hiss of the injector that does the liquid coolant. My ears are quite sensitive. I might be hearing frequencies that no one else would ever hear from that thing. Like, I hear little noises on cars and I'm like, what's that? And they're like, what? And then they get their analyst equipment out and they're like, oh yeah, that is. So yeah, my ears are a little bit sensitive to things, especially electronic high squeaky noises. Sometimes the first warning I have that a piece of electronics is going to explode is a high pitched squeal coming from it, and then the next thing there's a bang. So yeah, 37 at the moment when pushing, and then we go to drop the material off the blade. 29, 26, 23, 24, 23, 22. This is what I mean. This isn't even running machinery, you know? I've got a load of machinery built in the map, but I can do this to the map in the same amount of time with no machinery built. Brand new game. You know, 0 terrain edits apart from the ones I've been doing for the test. It's a joke, guys. How can this be not a priority? How can it not be a priority? Like, it's saying 22, but it's behaving like it's at like 8 with the lag and the jerkiness. I mean, geez, I live with someone with Parkinson's. I don't need shaking in my computer game world as well, man. I really don't. Shaky jerkiness and falling over every 10 minutes, that's my home life. I don't want it in my gaming. Jeez. Like, this is meant to be a development piece of software that you're charging for, but it does not pass a soak test right now, man. Like, Q&A, where's the Q&A? Where's the reliability? Somebody pass me the groceries. Like, geez. It's bad enough that I can load up these machines, turn them on to process, and I can have a shower, I can have toast. They're still processing when I get back. I need to be able to bulldoze and do something else whilst those processors are running. If you can't manipulate dirt, then you're kind of screwed for a mining game, you know what I mean? Yep, 24, 23, 21. You can bulldoze like this for a while, but there will be a random crash. This is guaranteed. Back up to 50 frames per second at the moment. Interesting. This happens, it just bounces around, back up to 50 after being wedged down at 30. It might be because I'm going in and out of the load distance for the shininess of those processors, so it might be worth building my processors at the other end of the Grizzly. I might try that at some point in the near future. But currently it's getting to the point where I'm probably going to end up playing another game until the end of the month when the next update is. Which is a shame, because I am enjoying this. I just don't enjoy constantly risking crashing it. As I say, I'm going to constantly risk crashing a game. I may as well play other games that are more finished, more complete, and still have these crash issues, which is why they piss me off. Here we have a new piece of software, and once again, same issues. And this FPS crash has been in the game since I've been playing it. I've always been able to crash this game by moving material, which seems a bit off for a mining game. Let's put it like that. You're meant to be able to dig, right? Maybe that's just me. Maybe in a mining game you're not meant to dig. Who knows? But yeah, so 44, 46, 42, and I'm not even moving. It's just sat on my blade, generating a few balls, and you get that. 35. Here we go. Let's get some more textures loading. Go through some of the white stuff. 36, 37, 35, 21, tank 18. Yeah, we're heading down into the teens. Told you I don't like teen numbers. This is where the crash can happen, and it happens with no warning now. Used to be, you'd know because you were down at 6 frames per second. But yesterday evening, after I don't know about this, we're 15 minutes into bulldozing. I think I got to 20 minutes. And I lost all that 20 minutes gameplay because it just suddenly crashed. I wasn't even pushing anything at the time. And this isn't the priority. Really? Like, I know a lot of people who were streaming this have stopped streaming it because of this FPS crash. So, you're losing free advertising. They say that no publicity is bad publicity, but bad publicity is still bad publicity. And having streamers go off your game is bad publicity, especially when they are people who are into the scene of mining and simulation games. I don't tend to listen to public opinion, I play the games I want to. And I'm willing to put up with a lot of foibles and issues. Like, a lot of people have got a problem with the construction system, but I fought with it for a little while, as you can see. And I can lay stuff pretty quick now, just because I know what to do and what not to do with it. In the same way as you can screw stuff down with a screwdriver, an electric one, pretty quick if you know how to use it. If you don't know how to use it, you'll spend all day fighting with it and rounding off screws. So, realistically, a bad workman blames his tools, but this FPS drop is not me being a bad workman. This is genuinely the game, and it needs fixing. It's broken. Fix it. It could be the might make a good title. Yeah, once again 21, 18. The next dose I'll see 16. Yeah, I saw 17 then. And this will just degrade until we're at 6 frames per second, and then it will crash. If you're loading hoppers, in this situation, this could crash on the next push. So I'm going to park up there, and I'm going to save, so that I don't lose this work again, because I've done this push 3 times now. I've had 2 crashes. I managed to save half the work I'd done on the second crash, because I was saving every few minutes. I'm not even sure it's going to be reversing my recording my voice, because the timer freezes when you do the save. It'll be interesting if all of that's smooth. That's why you're not seeing the kind of lag and shaking that I'm seeing when playing. There we go. Yeah, it's still 34 frames a second. Go over here, push a bit more of this hill down. There we go. Start dropping off. 19, 18. See, if when you did a save it reset the same values in the tables that it resets when you quit and then reload, then saving it would get rid of the FPS rate drop. I don't know. Yeah, I was down in the 19 there again. Who knows? I'm not a software guy. I do know. I may not be a pancake expert, but I know it when I see one. Well, I may not be a software engineer, but I know a problem when I see one. I've used enough gaming software. I may know nothing about software, but I've used an awful lot of it in gaming. And this kind of thing is starting to, as I've said before, it's getting right on my chest. Really grinding my gears. Yeah. As I say, 22, 31, back up again. But you do this for long enough. This is about where I got to last time I was doing this when it crashed. So I'll be impressed if it lasts a little longer. If it does, it might be something to do with the way Space Engineers uses and allocates resources, because I was running that before I ran this. I've tried restarting my computer before running this. It makes no difference at all to this frame rate drop. So yeah, it's we've tried adjusting settings. Friends of mine in the Discord have bought new graphics cards since this game came out, and they're still seeing the same kind of thing. I'm suspecting the Unreal 4 engine is something to do with this, because it's a problem in other Unreal 4 games as well. But yeah, until someone admits this FPS problem is a problem and that they're going to work on it, I'm kind of pissed off with the game. It'll be a month until the next update, and well, it's the end of the month apparently, January, February time. There's no exact date being given. So I might end up playing something else until that happens, to be honest, and then seeing whether this is actually playable. But if it's not fixed in that update, I'm going to start getting kind of pissed off. Like, I can feel the edge of my anger now. The kind of rage quit anger is what I'm talking about. Because that's what it's coming down to. Eventually, after having to quit, save and restart, which I'd have already done once by now if I wasn't filming. Because I'm filming to prove a point. But yeah, this is regularly every bulldoze dropping frames, and it will crash. I guarantee it. If you keep bulldozing, this will crash. You might even get 45 minutes out of it, but it will crash. I've got an unlimited sized shader cache for my graphics card, by the way. Just in case you're thinking it's something like that, we've gone in there. I haven't really tried crazy stuff yet, but I shouldn't need to. Everything else runs on the standard settings. I've already set it up from because it was in power save mode. I put it into high performance, and we're still having the same troubles. And it's not a bad graphics card. Memory, processors, CDU cores, all that kind of thing beat the graphics card that matey just bought. The only difference is his is a bit faster. His can do more calculations per second, but mine can store more in memory. So it's a bit of a turtle and tortoise in the hare situation with the two graphics cards. You buy them, it would appear, for different performance characteristics rather than because that's the best graphics card. Certain ones do certain things better. Thinking of asking the developer, what graphics card have you written this on? Because that's what I'm going to try and run it on. And if that doesn't fix the FPS rate, you'll receive a receipt for a graphics card. Yeah, we're stuck at 31 FPS at the moment. I've tried different dozers as well, get the same effect in the other dozers. The Legao appears to hold material on the blade better when moving around on the concrete panels than the other 800 without handrails, but I think that's just a matter of tuning. It's the kind of small thing that I don't even worry about reporting in a game, because I'll get there. I can understand that kind of thing being last on the list. I do not understand an FPS drop down into 14s when just bulldozing and not running machines that crashes the game not being a priority. Like, I'm sorry I'm going on about it, but I figure a half-hour rave about it, titled correctly on YouTube, might actually get some attention from someone, because I know that mentioning things in the Discord, for me, doesn't really work. It works for other people, but for some reason I just don't come across right. Mind you, I'm the kind of guy who says that's a bad idea and no one listens, and then a few minutes later you're phoning somebody in an ambulance and you're like, I told you it was a bad idea. So yeah, do one more push here. Mind you, I also have friends who in American terms decided they haven't used up their allocation of life flights for the month, so it's a great idea. Nitro Circus wannabes. essentially. Funny thing is, it's all okay for them to come off their bikes and their motorbikes and all that kind of thing and get patched up by the NHS to go and do it again. And they claim and they do all sorts. But it's not okay, according to my brother-in-law, for me to claim because I got injured by a doctor. The hypocrisy and selfishness was unreal. But there we go. But this FPS drop is... Once again there, that was 18, 16, somewhere around there. It was a 1 and a circle number. And it wasn't 10. Another look. Yeah, those were 19s and 18s. That's a 15. So things are not getting many better on this FPS thing. So yeah, the current opinion of the game on the weekly walkabout is it's still broken. No one's got any intention of fixing it. And I'm going to go and play with something with weapons to get rid of my frustration. So yeah, game as it stands. We'll see whether you can actually hear me through this end section again whilst I'm saving. It'll be an interesting one. We'll see whether there's a cutout when I'm saving the game. But yeah, as I say, really enjoyable game. Love this Legal Bulldozer model. It's beautiful. But realistically, it needs fixing. So thank you everybody for joining me and putting up with my rant today on the weekly walkabout. I'm not sure whether there'll be, there might be a couple of weeks between these and the next one because nothing will happen because I'm busy doing other things. We shall see how that goes. So yeah, thanks to all the viewers and subscribers, all the people commenting, getting involved. Yeah, it makes a difference. It really does. So thank you all. Have a great day, everybody. Mr. JP signing off.